Hi students, I'm Sonia from Vidya Guru, starting a new session of current affairs. This session is for the month of April 2021. As you guys can make out that this session is going to be completely in English medium, for our students from South India, for our students from Northeast India, those who are unable to understand Hindi well, we shoot a separate session for them so that they can actually understand what is going on around them. This session is super significant, super relevant from the perspective of your exam. Believe me, each and every question will be there in some or the other exam. It is that important. If you spend around half an hour with me, you'll be able to learn around 60 to 65 new questions. Please understand that these many questions only in half an hour's time, and they are super significant, super relevant. I expect feedback from my students whenever they take the exam. I really love that when you write in the comment section, when you make me aware that these many questions were there in the exam which you took. If you are not comfortable with the language, switch to the Hindi session. That is also there in the playlist. You can watch Hindi session also. I'll start from here on. I put a lot of efforts. I really expect a like from you. Press the like button if you understand everything. I'll put my whole efforts to make you understand. I'll try to use as many easy words as possible. If you understand everything, press the like button for sure. Share the video with your friends if they are preparing for some or the other competitive exam. Please do subscribe to Vidya Guru's YouTube channel. Press the bell icon which is just beside the subscribe button. That's how you'll receive notifications of all the exam relevant videos which we upload. I'll start from the first question here on. The first question is new Chief Election Commissioner. Super significant post these days. You know that. New Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra. When I name him, when I actually tell you the name of this fellow, he is going to be the 24th Chief Election Commissioner of India. So 24th Chief Election Commissioner, or they may ask you like new Chief Election Commissioner, the answer will be the same, that is Sushil Chandra. Besides this, something else has happened too. New Economic Affairs Secretary was appointed, new Revenue Secretary was also appointed. So, new Economic Affairs Secretary has become Ajay Seth now. And when I move on to Tarun Bajaj, he has actually been appointed as new Revenue Secretary. Tarun Bajaj, new Revenue Secretary. New Economic Affairs Secretary, Ajay Seth. Let's move ahead. Now, World Heritage Day. World Heritage Day is also known as International Day for Monuments and Sites. Yes, if you read it as, if the question is in your exam is like World Heritage Day, it is celebrated on 18th April. But if they ask you as International Day for Monuments and Sites, that is also observed on 18th April, does not mean that there are two different names. That we are actually talking about one particular thing, that is World Heritage Day only, which is observed on 18th April. The theme which was kept for it, that was Complex Past, Diverse Futures. Complex Past, Diverse Futures. I found the theme of Earth Day important too. That is, I'm going to teach you that as well. Earth Day is celebrated on 22nd April. The theme kept was Restore Our Earth. Restore Our Earth. That was the theme kept for Earth Day, which is observed on 22nd of April. Let's move ahead. World Hemophilia Day. World Hemophilia Day. When I talk about the word hemophilia, please understand it is a kind of disease. What kind of disease it is? The problem here is with hemophilia. When a person is suffering from such a disease, the problem is blood does not clot. When you get injured, when a small injury is there, you are losing blood and it is not clotting. Actually, that's the problem in hemophilia. So, blood loss will be too huge when you are suffering from such a problem. So, World Hemophilia Day is observed on 17th of April, and the theme for it was Adapting to Change, Sustaining Care in a New World. Adapting to Change, Sustaining Care in a New World. That was the theme kept for World Hemophilia Day. World Book and Copyright Day. World Book and Copyright Day is observed on 23rd of April, and Panchayati Raj Day is observed on 24th of April. It is not World Panchayati Raj Day, we all know that. It is National Panchayati Raj Day, which is observed on 24th of April, and I'll try to relate it so that you can keep 24th of April in your mind easily. Panchayati Raj means when Panchayati Raj was implemented in our country, the purpose was decentralization of powers. That means the power should not be centralized, it should be decentralized. It should be given to lower institutions too. Panchayati Raj is a 3-tier system. You are probably aware of, because in polity you read such things, that Panchayati Raj system is a 3-tier system. 3-tier, that means 3 level. The lower one is Gaon, means village. The middle one is block, and the upper level is Zilla or district level. So I'm saying Gaon, block and Zilla. There are 3-tier, there are 3 levels in Panchayati Raj system. Decentralization of power is happening in Panchayati Raj system. Why I'm relating it and how I'm going to do it. 73rd Constitutional Amendment 1992 is about Panchayati Raj system. 73rd Constitutional Amendment 1992 is about Panchayati Raj system. It came into force on 24th April 1993. Yes, that's the significance of the dates. Please understand that. On 24th of April 1993, Panchayati Raj came into being, came into force. It got implemented. Since then, 24th April became important for us. Our Prime Minister, erstwhile Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, first, he actually made it famous. He actually made it famous as Panchayati Raj Day. In 2010, when Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister of India, he announced first Panchayati Raj Day on 24th April 2010. So since then, we have been celebrating this day as Panchayati Raj Day. That is the significance, and on 24th April, we celebrate Panchayati Raj Day. Let's move ahead with the next question. New education policy is Sarthak. What is it about? It is about school education. New education policy implementation plan is Sarthak. I'm saying it is about school education. There is some significance. There is some significance of the full form as well. That is why I've mentioned it. So be careful when you read Sarthak's full form. It is. So their abbreviation is meaningful. By writing Sarthak, they have some meaning of the word Sarthak also. Students and teachers, holistic advancement through quality education. I have told you, teachers. H stands for holistic, A advancement, and Q stands for quality education. Quality education, school education, that is Sarthak. Union Minister becomes important. Which Union Minister? Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank is the name of that Union Minister. He becomes important for us. See, I'm talking about this fellow here. I want to tell you something else. If you can recall, Human Resource Development Ministry was there. It existed. The name of HRD got changed to Education Ministry now. It has become Education Ministry now, Ministry of Education. So who's heading it? Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank is heading it. I'm saying this ministry has, launched Sarthak now. So what is Sarthak? Sarthak launched as part of Azadi ke Amrit Mahotsav. Azadi's Amrit Mahotsav. Amrit Mahotsav celebration was taught by me in the last to last video. I've talked about it. Azadi means I'm referring to independence. We are about to complete 75 years, of independence. Keeping that in mind, as we are going to complete 75 years of our independence, we are celebrating, we are commemorating it. Azadi ke Amrit Mahotsav celebration on 75 years of India's independence. Let's move ahead. Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme extended to SMA-1 loans. What does it mean? I'll explain that step by step. I just want to tell you, when I talk about credit line, some sort of loan is being provided. I've taught something related to this Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, which is super important. I've taught something about it in the last video as well. If you have not watched it, you can go and check that video out too. I am saying here that SMA-1 loans, that means SMA special mention accounts. What is special in them? They are actually those sort of accounts which are stressed accounts. They are witnessing some sort of stress. and they are on the verge of being NPAs, non-performing assets. They will not surely be NPAs, but I'm saying they can become NPAs, non-performing assets. There's a possibility. So I'm saying SMA, special mention accounts, they are stressed accounts. That's what I'm trying to tell you in short. They have been kept in categories like SMA 0 is there, SMA 1 is there, SMA 2 is there. The way you repay loan, I'm saying if you've stopped paying loan back, you fall in SMA 0 category if the days are from 1 to 30 days only, the lowest of it. SMA 1 category is 31 to 60 days. That means here the days are increasing when you have stopped the repayment of your loan. SMA 2, the highest, 61 to 90 days. That means, see, because post 90 days, they are declared as non-performing assets, they become NPA. So I'm not talking about them as NPAs. I'm saying they are on the verge of becoming NPAs. So I'm saying if somebody is not paying from 61 to 90 days, they have stopped paying, they fall in the category of special mention accounts too. The upper point will be explained in the next part. That means the next part is here on the screen. New sector included under emergency credit line guarantee scheme. Be patient, I'll be explaining that first point again. I am saying 26 stressed sectors were there earlier according to KV Kamath committee. They identified 26 stressed sectors earlier. Now they have identified one more sector. That means they have added one more sector, that is healthcare. Earlier 26 sectors were there, they have added one more, that means they become 27 stress sectors now. Okay, now let's come to the third point. The third point is the same point I was talking about in the previous page. Emergency credit line guarantee scheme, they are providing loan under this ECLGS to these 27 sectors earlier. But the category SMA 1 loan category in these 21 sector was not eligible to receive loan from ECLGS earlier. Now, under this emergency credit line guarantee scheme, SMA 1 loan category will be eligible to get loan. I am referring to these 27 sectors only. So, in these 27 sectors, SMA special mention account 1 category will be eligible to receive loan too. Earlier this was not eligible. Now this SMA 1 is also eligible. Let's move ahead. India's largest floating solar power plant. I am saying India's largest floating solar power plant. When I refer to 100 megawatt to come up in Ramgundam, Telangana, what I mean by saying that, what I mean by reading that, the lower one, world's largest, that is also in India. You must be thinking when both are coming up, why our teacher is mentioning it as the largest and why is she so sure? The concern is whichever floating solar plant till now, this should replace it. This Ramgundam, Telangana should replace it. The reason is both are coming up. But the concern is the upper one. That means the Ramgundam is on the verge of completion. It will be completed in a month's time. So till you take your exam, till you write your exam, and I feel that this will get completed. So India's largest floating solar plant in that case for you will be Ramgundam, which is in Telangana. And the capacity I've mentioned here, that is 100 megawatt. When I actually move to the lower point, world's largest floating solar energy project, floating solar power plant only, I've used different words here, but I mean the same. I am saying the upper one is referring to 100 megawatt, the lower one is talking about 600 megawatt. Can you imagine what kind of solar power plant it is going to be? And that too floating one. I am saying it is going to come up in Omkareshwar Dam, going to come up at Omkareshwar Dam. Omkareshwar Dam is on Narmada river. When we refer to Narmada, we majorly talk about Madhya Pradesh. If you wish to know the district, that district is Khandwa. Why I am not calling the lower one as the largest right now? See, the concern is that this one will take around 2 years to get completed. So I should not call it India's largest right now. India's largest, it will be completed in one month's time. So I am saying Ramgundam will be India's largest floating solar power plant. In a few days time it will be completed. This will take some time to get completed. That is why then it will be world's largest. So obviously it is going to be India's largest too after 2 years. We'll talk about it. Let's move ahead. Total of rupees 14,500 crores infused in. Here you can actually see there's some problem with these banks. That is why the money is being infused by the government. 14,500 crores will be infused by the government in these banks. Which banks are there? The banks are Central Bank of India. 4,800 crores will be infused here. Indian Overseas Bank. 4,100 crores will be infused here. Bank of India, 3,000 crores will be given to them as well. UCO Bank will receive 2,600 crores. If government is pumping in money, I hope you can understand there are some problems with these banks. So the problem is, and how this money will be actually given to them. They will receive money via zero coupon recapitalization bonds. Recapitalization, that means capital is being infused in these banks. I am saying zero coupon. And what about the maturity varying between 2031 or 36? What does it mean? I am just trying to tell you the money which is being given to them, that is through bonds. What are bonds? Bonds are basically long-term debt instruments. Bonds are long-term debt instruments. So government is giving them money on non-interest bearing, through non-bearing interest bonds. These bonds have the word zero coupon. Zero coupon means no interest is being charged. That is why they have the name zero coupon. These bonds are non-interest bearing bonds. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Zero coupon recapitalization bonds have maturity as well. See, some bonds will get completed in 31, somebody will get matured in 33, maybe 34. So the maturity, the duration is from 31 to 36. Not under prompt corrective action. That is Bank of India. What does it mean? See, if the problem is there, the banks fall into prompt corrective action. I am saying out of these four, Bank of India is not the part of prompt corrective action. That means other three are. But Bank of India is not the part of prompt corrective action. Let's move ahead. 3,000-year-old lost golden city discovered in Egypt. The name is Aten. I hope you can even understand this question is super significant. 3,000-year-old golden city found in Egypt, and a very, very beautiful, very, very planned city was found by them, and they are actually mentioning their dates as well. 3,000-year-old, they are actually calling it the time of Amenhotep III's time. The city dates to the reign of, the rule of their king, their pharaoh. Pharaoh means their ruler. They address their rulers as pharaoh. I'm saying pharaoh from 1391 to 1353 BC. That was the time of Amenhotep III. I'm saying this Amenhotep III's time is the time of Aten city, which has actually recently been discovered by them. Let's move ahead. Now I'll actually talk about the PM, presidents of a few nations, and they are super important. New PM of South Korea, not referring to North Korea at all, talking about South Korea. Yes, the developed, super developed nation. The new PM of South Korea, Kim Boo-kyum. Kim Boo-kyum is the new Prime Minister of South Korea. President is Moon Jae-in. I'm not referring to as new president. I have not mentioned it like that. So be careful, because when the name of the country like South Korea is mentioned, they may ask you the new PM of South Korea is Kim Boo-kyum. Who is the president? So the name of the president is Moon Jae-in. So keep these names in your mind. Samia Suluhu Hassan, as you can make out, the name is from a lady. So I'm saying Samia Suluhu Hassan becomes the first woman president of Tanzania. So Tanzania did not see any woman president before it. She is the first one who's going to be the woman, who's going to be the woman president of Tanzania. Samia Suluhu Hassan. New president of Vietnam. Vietnam's new president and new prime minister. The names are respectively Nguyen Xuan Phuc. Nguyen Xuan Phuc has become the new president of Vietnam, and the new prime minister of Vietnam, Pham Minh Chinh, new prime minister, and new president Nguyen Xuan Phuc. Let's move ahead. Now we'll talk about Sudarshan Sen Committee. What is it about? Because see, if the question is there in your exam, they may ask you what is it about. Sudarshan Sen Committee is about, it is RBI's committee first of all. When we talk about it, it is about the functionality of Asset Reconstruction Committee. Yes, that's the full form of ARC. So how ARC is going to function? How an asset reconstruction company is going to function? They are going to review their regulatory guidelines. Who's going to review? This committee is going to review. Sudarshan Sen Committee is about Asset Reconstruction Committee. That's what I was trying to tell you in short. Head of RBI's Regulatory Review Authority, RRA, that is Regulatory Review Authority 2.0, that means the second edition. Who is heading it? Who's going to head that? M. Rajeshwar Rao. M. Rajeshwar Rao is the Deputy Governor of RBI, not the Governor. I'm saying he's the Deputy Governor of RBI. He's going to head some authority. What authority? Regulatory Review Authority. RBI's Regulatory Review Authority will be headed by him. I'm talking about the second edition of it, will be headed by him. What is the work of RBI? Obviously, they regulate, they check. So, such things are actually checked. So, I'm saying to review regulations and compliance, this Regulatory Review Authority 2.2 has been formed, and I'm saying who is going to head that? M. Rajeshwar Rao is going to head that. The validity of this authority is 1 year, and it will start from 1st May 2021. Let's move ahead. Indian Army participates in multinational military exercise. Multinational, please understand that. So it has more nations, multinational, more nations are going to take part. India has actually taken part in Shantir Ogro Sena. Shantir Ogro Sena, you can actually read it and understand it. We have started talking about Bangladesh here. This took place in Bangladesh only, and the exact location was Bangabandhu Sena Nibas. So related like that. So Bangabandhu Sena Nibas is the venue in Bangladesh where this multinational military exercise took place. Shantir Ogro Sena 2021, in which India also took part. India and Kyrgyzstan military counter-terrorism exercise. The name of this exercise is Khanjar, and the venue for it was Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. Bishkek is obviously in Kyrgyzstan. Although India and Kyrgyzstan, they took part, but the venue was Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, and I'm saying it was a military counter-terrorism exercise. The name was Khanjar. Let's move ahead. Now a lot many important books which are actually going to be there in front of you one by one. You cannot even skip one. Believe What Life and Cricket Taught Me. Believe What Life and Cricket Taught Me. That means I've started talking about one cricketer here, Suresh Raina's memoir, Believe What Life and Cricket Taught Me, Suresh Raina's memoir. When I move ahead, I'll talk about Bimal Jalan's India After Liberalization. India After Liberalization is the book of Bimal Jalan. When I am referring to any book, please understand this was in news for one or the other reason. Like the lowest one, when I actually talk about Frontier Gandhi, this book actually got translated. That is why this was in news. That is why one or the other reason these books were in news. That is why they are the topic of current affairs. You have to study them. Author of By Many a Happy Accident, Recollection of a Life, Hamid Ansari. Why this book is important for us? Because Hamid Ansari was our erstwhile vice president. He remained our vice president at one point of time. So whatever he writes becomes important for us. By Many a Happy Accident, Recollection of a Life by Hamid Ansari. Frontier Gandhi's book, My Life and Struggle is the autobiography of Frontier Gandhi only. And if you study polity a lot, if you study history a lot, if you know about our freedom struggle, you may have heard Frontier Gandhi's name too. So I'm saying Frontier Gandhi, Abdul Ghaffar Khan. So Abdul Ghaffar Khan is the name. Abdul Ghaffar Khan is also known as Frontier Gandhi. So his book is his autobiography, written by himself. That means Frontier Gandhi himself wrote this book, My Life and Struggle. The translation, it got translated a few days back. That is why this was in news. I've talked about it earlier. Let's move ahead. Author of India's Power Elite, Class, Caste and Cultural Revolution. Elite, talking about power, talking about class, caste and cultural revolution. So Sanjay Baru. Sanjay Baru is the name of the writer who has written India's Power Elite, Class, Caste and Cultural Revolution, and his other famous book was The Accidental Prime Minister 1991. How P.V. Narasimha Rao made history. So other books I've mentioned it. The Accidental Prime Minister 1991, How P.V. Narasimha Rao made history. Please read them. I'm saying Sanjay Baru is the writer of these books I've mentioned here. When I move ahead, I'll actually talk about S.Y. Qureshi here. S.Y. Qureshi's book, The Population Myth, Islam, Family Planning and Politics in India. Politics in India, Family Planning, Myth, Population, Myth, Islam. So please, S.Y. Qureshi has written this book. Read the names and learn them. Let's move ahead. India to acquire S-400 Triumph air defense systems from Russia. SA-21 Growler. When you actually talk about SA-21 Growler, when you type it somewhere, S-400 Triumph will appear in front of your eyes. We are actually buying it from Russia. We are probably trying to boost, trying to actually make our air defense system better. So India is acquiring this missile S-400 Triumph from which country? Russia. India gives fast patrol vessel PS Zoroaster to Seychelles. It is not Seychelles, it is Seychelles, and I am saying that PS Zoroaster is a patrolling ship. Patrol does not mean the patrol of vehicles. I'm saying it is a patrolling ship. For vigilance, these patrolling vessels, these patrolling ships are actually used. Around of the cost 100 crores, this PS Zoroaster ship is being gifted to Seychelles from India. India is gifting to Seychelles now. So the name of that patrolling ship is PS Zoroaster. 6th offshore patrol vessel commissioned in Indian Coast Guard, that is ICGS Vajra. ICGS is Indian Coast Guard ship. Vajra inducted in Indian Coast Guard, in Indian Navy now. And I'm saying, if somebody asks you who has built it, Larsen and Toubro is behind, the building of this ICGS Vajra now. So the name of the company can also be asked. Let's move ahead. State contributing highest to small savings schemes. West Bengal contribution is around 12 to 15%. Read that carefully. Small saving schemes. Small saving schemes. I am saying the state which is contributing a lot, that is West Bengal. And what sort of contribution? How much are they contributing? 12 to 15% is contributed by West Bengal alone. In the small saving schemes, let's move ahead. India's rank on World Press Freedom Index 2021, it is 142nd. Obviously the rank is terrible. Out of 180 nations, India stands on 142nd now. 180 nations. See, when you read it in newspaper, they have mentioned it. 142nd numbers, dangerous nation for journalists. Believe me, it is like that. It was mentioned like that. Who prepares this index? What was the rank of India? Who topped the chart? All these three questions are asked in your exam, so I'm going to explain it like that. India's rank on World Press Freedom Index Day, that is 142nd. Norway topped it. Norway topped it. Like this sort of transparency is there. That is why Norway topped it. RSF prepares it, publishes it. So it is published by Reporters Without Borders. You generally find it as Reporters Without Borders, but RSF's full form is Reporters Sans Frontiers. Reporters Sans Frontiers, and when we actually translate it into English, it becomes Reporters Without Borders. India's rank on inclusive internet index. We have not done anything wonderful here. So please don't think like we are on the 49th position. We have done something great here. It is just inclusive internet index, where they actually see the parameters, how affordable internet is in the country, how available internet is in this country, and how people are using the web in this country. So such things are kept in mind. Not this, there are many other factors too which are taken into account. I am saying India's rank on inclusive internet index is 49th. Sweden topped it. Sweden stood first, and it is published by Facebook and Economist Intelligence Unit. Economist Intelligence Unit. When you search this index, it is written everywhere as Facebook Inclusive Internet Index. That's how you'll be able to keep in mind that it is published by Facebook. Facebook publishes Inclusive Internet Index, where India stood on 49th number. Let's move ahead. Bank to become a co-promoter of Max Life Insurance. Axis Bank, that means some sort of participation in the group by acquiring some stake is happening. So the acquisition of 12.99% has already been acquired by Axis Bank. That is why I've mentioned it, that it is going to be the part of promoter group. Now it will be co-promoter of Max Life Insurance. What? Axis Bank, multinational bank to exit consumer banking, that means retail banking. Citibank, you may have read about Citibank that they are actually wrapping up their business in India. But what business? They are wrapping up their consumer banking and retail banking. This multinational bank is exiting that. Let's move ahead. BRICS Finance Minister and Central Bank Governors virtual meeting hosted by India. That is why this question becomes important for us. When I talk about BRICS, I generally tell you that Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, they are BRICS. That is why they are BRICS. So I am saying their finance minister and central banks governors virtual meet took place. It was actually hosted by India, and our finance minister, our union minister, finance and corporate affairs is Nirmala Sitharaman. We all know that. She also obviously took part in that. So the next question is 17th BIMSTEC ministerial meeting chaired by Sri Lanka. BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal, multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation. Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation is BIMSTEC, and I'm saying 17th BIMSTEC ministerial meet took place, which was attended by S. Jaishankar. S. Jaishankar is our external affairs minister, and they had some agenda in their mind too. They kept the agenda transport connectivity master plan for Bay of Bengal region in their mind when this meet took place. Okay, the next important question in front of you is IRDAI, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. That means a regulatory body of insurance. IRDAI has extended the validity of sandbox regulations by 2 years now. The validity of sandbox got increased to 2 years now. See, the validity of sandbox has been increased. That means sandbox is something that you need to know. Read the lowest point, which states that sandbox is just a framework. What sort of framework is it? It is actually a live testing environment, live testing platform for fintech startups and innovators, and it is set up by RBI and IRDAI sort of regulators. I'm not talking about these two only. I am saying they or these sort of regulators provide such sort of setups for fintech startups and innovators. When you read the middle point, completion of existing sandbox proposals and new sandbox proposals allowed. That means this 2 years time which got extended, the validity got extended to 2 years. They are hoping that existing sandbox proposals will come to an end. They'll be completed in this 2 years time, and they are welcoming new sandbox proposals too. Let's move ahead. This is the last question, so be super focused. At least learn this question. Each Smart Cities Challenge and Transport for All Challenge. It was launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Now, who's handling this ministry? Who's heading this ministry? It is Hardeep Singh Puri. He is basically not the union minister. He is basically Minister of State, independent charge, who is handling Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, which has launched Eat Smart Cities Challenge and Transport for All Challenge. Obviously this man handles, Ministry of Aviation also, because whenever I talk about Hardeep Singh Puri, what comes across your mind is Ministry of Aviation only. I am saying Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs is also headed by Hardeep Singh Puri. Mission for spreading nutritional awareness. This is not the same point. Obviously the next point is mission for spreading nutritional awareness. They are not distributing food here, they are just spreading awareness for nutrition. So I'm saying mission for spreading nutritional awareness, that is Ahar Kranti. That's the name of the mission through which they are. Ahar means food, obviously. So Ahar Kranti mission is for spreading nutritional awareness among people. Here the minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, who's the Minister of Science and Technology, becomes important for us. So learn his name too. Here I'm wrapping up. If you understood everything, press the like button. If you could not, you can watch the Hindi session. That is also there in the playlist. Thanks for watching.